Good morning and welcome to the Entrepreneurs Live Show. This morning, we are very privileged to have one of the most upcoming entrepreneurs in Durban and in South Africa with us. We've got Mr. Matt Salt from WeCloud that's going to be sharing his amazing journey with us. Matt, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
And it's an absolute pleasure. Matt, I would like to start off and ask you, where do you come from? Are you a born and raised Durban boy? Are you coming from somewhere else? Where did you grow up?
Born and raised in Seaview, and I'm Bilo boy.
Awesome.
From Durban, from the rough end. I've had an interesting life and lots of ups and downs. So I've had lots to learn from, which has been fantastic in terms of learning to become an entrepreneur.
Okay, that's quite awesome, Matt. Now, tell me, while you were in primary school, high school, did you already start with your entrepreneurship towards electronics and to computers, those kind of things, or was it something that developed later in your life?
So in school, I was known as the dunce of the school, which means I wasn't the smartest. I was a very average student. I had no interest in school whatsoever. It was just the biggest waste of time. I was more involved into my sports. At about 16, computers came onto my platform, into my life at that time. And that just got me obsessed into the IT world, stripping these things apart, putting them together. And then after school, that's when the interest hit. That's when I started studying. I went to CTI College, did my degree through them. And that's when I just stuck with it from there on out. And so school to me, it varies from person to person. To me, it was just the biggest waste of time, to be honest. My bug bit when I was out of school, my brain only kicked in to the entrepreneurial game really at the age of 25, That's when things really took off, because there was a lot of learning about how the industries work and obviously networking with the right people.
Now, that's quite interesting because, you know what, a lot of people think you can only be an entrepreneur by, starting early in school, doing all those little tables they normally do and doing all those subjects like
maths
and maths and all those things. And you proving an entrepreneur is somebody that's born, you've got a natural talent in you, something that's going to develop. So, yes, that's amazing, Matt. I'm actually blown away with it.
I actually hire people in my business that have a drive and tenacity to want to learn and to thrive. I actually don't look at a resume based on what degrees you have, because that means absolutely squat to me. If you can show me you know what you're doing, then you can kind of come work for me.
That I like, because I believe in it also. A piece of paper is just a piece of paper, but knowledge in the industry is the thing that you need. It's like having the best team. If we look at Steve Jobs, if we look at Bill Gates, those are people that didn't finish university.
Great.
And yet they became not the simplest, but the very best entrepreneurs out there. So that's magnificent. And obviously, being in the computer industry, working with networking and stuff, how did that come to light? How did you decide that's what you want to do?
I just saw in Durban there was a big gap in the market, in terms of service delivery. I started talking because, I also studied accounts and bookkeeping at the same time. I wanted to keep my options open. And now when I say studying, I did night school for 3 years at gambling to do that kind of degree. And at the time when I was going and doing all these payroll consultants and different things and seeing different clients and all the rest of it, I noticed a huge flaw in all the IT systems. And I would always ask, well, who's your IT guy? What's happening here? I'm doing your books for you, and I can fix all your problems for you while I'm here, because I kind of know what's going on. And that's when that's when the gap in the market actually opened for me. So I actually started contacting all my current clients in that industry, and then just saying, who's your IT guy? I'd love to come give you a free IT assessment. And then it just kind of, over the past 8 years, it's just kind of rolled. But it's been a long process. Nothing happened overnight. It was like a 5-year process. And yeah, now it's kind of just doing its thing.
Okay, that's quite interesting. And when you said you were looking at the problems that people had, what kind of problems do you identify with your clients? What was the need that they had at that stage?
So stability was the main thing, in terms of network infrastructure at the time. 8 years ago, networking was networking then, and networking
Yes.
now is completely different. And obviously, stability over a network when running programs like Pastel or Payroll and or QuickBooks or whatever the client kind of used for their software. So they wanted things to work effectively over a network. When you're pulling information over a network and it's super slow, and the server that was outdated, software on the local machines were outdated, things just weren't just being kept up to date. And I always looked at that as a prospect. So I would just add that into my kind of time that I spent at the client. And that's when I started moving away more and more from the payroll. Actually, now that's one of my under umbrella companies that I actually run on the side. So I've got a payroll and accounting company that I run on the side.
Oh,
And
wow.
it still continues. And I've got separate staff that run that whole industry on their own now. And I just kind of watch what happens.
Okay, that's quite interesting. So you started off doing books for them, then you went on to networking. Now the networking is main business and the other sideline.
Yeah, so basically WeCloud is my umbrella company. Within an umbrella company, I have an IT company, which does all your networking, your websites, your marketing, and all the rest of that. And then I have a payroll accounting company, which does the outsourcing of your payroll, outsourcing of your books, and we also do on-site training and all the rest of that as well.
Okay, and what's that company's called, if I may ask?
So the one company, the IT company, is called WeTech. And the other company that does the accounting is a long-standing family business called Sultan Partners.
They're very popular. Oh, my word. I didn't know that's yours. Oh, that's excellent.
I took over my father's position about 10 years ago.
Oh, my. And the plans for it, are you going to keep it in your family?
It is currently in my family. Yeah, I've brought my brother and his fiance on board. They head up the outsourcing of the payroll division. I've got another two ladies, Kerry and Lydia, as well, that run that entire thing. Lydia is my mother. She is one of the directors. So she helps me head up that whole sector as well. So yeah, she's the main Pastel head up trainer for the entire Durban.
My word, that's quite cool. So you don't just do the books and everything for people, but you actually do the training also.
Correct, yes.
That's quite important because I know in our area, there's very few people that can actually do training in that direction because I know it's very specialized and people think it's always easy. They think bookkeeping is like putting a few slips in a box. That's not how it works. So that's quite cool, my friend. Now tell me, with everything that's happened, who is your role model at the moment? Who do you look up to? Who do you see as the person that's giving you direction at the moment, or an entity that's giving you direction at the moment?
So I am a born again Christian. I was born again and baptized about 4 years ago.
That's awesome.
A up and downhill struggle with a very bad past. So yeah, it's been really good. My role models, obviously I try and mold myself after Christ himself, and I move along those lines. I lead a lot of different church groups as well. I'm quite heavily involved in my church. So I do a lot of church leadership and outreach programs as well in my spare time. So yeah, that's pretty much the only person I can really try and mold myself after.
But that's good because if you're building it on something like Christ, like you're saying, you can't go wrong. And I mean, your heart is in the right place. It's not just about making money, because that's something that we try and teach people also. Entrepreneurship, you always need to remember, we are given the abilities to do things so that we can help other people and do something different. So, wow, you've just blown me away with that. I did not expect that. What's your plans further for WeCloud and for your businesses, for WeTech and sold and everybody. What are you planning? Is there
Our
growth coming?
the essential goal is just to kind of educate people on what cloud infrastructure is and how it can benefit their companies. A lot of people I find don't actually understand what cloud-based computing really is. They think Dropbox, they think Google Drive, and that yes, that's a form of cloud, but you cannot install software on those platforms.
Yes.
So our software and our servers are basically the same as Amazon EC2 or Microsoft Azure servers, but we structure them in our own manner, and they work identically, but just a hell of a lot cheaper. You're not paying the US dollar price. We have our own servers hosted here in South Africa, in Cape Town, and in Durban. So we're able to drop the cost quite substantially in terms of providing a bang for buck service. Future longevity is kind of like a 10-year process, 10-year thought process, just to see where it goes step by step. And as people get more and more educated, just make sure that our service standards are up to date so that we can offer the best price and value.
Okay, that's quite cool. And if I may, can you please explain to the people that do not understand what cloud basing is or cloud computing is, what it is, so they can understand what you're doing and just a little bit more in detail?
So cloud computing essentially is taking all your software on your local machine, of all your local desktops that you would have for all your staff members, and actually uploading that onto a server. So whatever that person or individual would have seen on their local machine is no longer on their local machine. So if that machine gets stolen or if it breaks or whatever the case may be, you lose no information because there's nothing physically sitting locally on your machines anymore. It's all sitting up on the cloud machine, and every individual has their own user profile on the same server. So you're getting far better security. No one can just access random files or store files on their local machines, back them up on USB, take that to new companies and sell off that data. All that type of stuff is secured and encrypted, yeah.
Man, that's actually quite interesting because number one, what I'm thinking now is, especially like in my industry, we always got a lot of files and it becomes quite huge. And the problem is most computers can't handle it. Is that something that your company also helps with when they're working with cloud computing? Like for instance, like with my videos, it's quite big. When I do that, will it be stored onto your system?
Yeah, so we kind of have a 24/7 staff crew that manage our servers. So if anything comes up that you need help or service with, we kind of store images. Doesn't matter what you really want to run on your cloud-based server or what you want to store. You're just paying for your space, and we do the rest. So, I mean, if you need updates for software, you're not paying for extra support. What you're being billed for automatically includes all your support fees as well.
Now, that's quite cool. That is absolutely cool. Now, on the other side, you said you've got... what was your other company called? WeTech, the computers are. So what do you do there? Yeah, what is your specialty there?
Speciality right now, what's really taken off, obviously when I started that, it was purely PC and networking related. It's still one of the biggest incomers into that particular business is the networking infrastructure. So we'll run entire network infrastructures. And we generally install complete wireless infrastructures throughout entire warehouses, and that's what we mainly specialize in. And obviously now what's really taken off, because we have our own cloud-based servers, is obviously website hosting and website development, Facebook, Instagram marketing, and all the rest of it. So I've actually, over the past 3 years, just kind of expanded outwards into these different categories to offer our clients an all-in-one solution, so they can just phone one company and have us just manage everything for them, instead of having 3 or 4 different companies having to phone them and find out, hey, can you do this for me, do this, that. They just phone one person, one office, and everything gets done.
Okay, that's quite awesome. And future-wise, advice that you can give to anybody that's in your field or looking to go into your field, what would you suggest to them? What should they do? What shouldn't they do?
So for companies, advice, if you're going to go cheap, you're going to get cheap. You're never going to really be satisfied with your service, you're always going to have issues. So that's just number one. Find the middle ground man who's offering you the service, who's willing to come out and do the work. For young entrepreneurs trying to break out into the industry, unless you're willing to work 12 to 16 hours a day for the first 5 years, you can forget about making it in the industry. It's just that simple, because there's so many competitors out there that unless your game is up to date and you can offer a really good service at a really good price, and you constantly have a backup service to that, and you're just not willing to sleep, because at our age, you don't really need much sleep. So you can, unless you're willing to do that, you're not really going to break into it. So I'm not trying to break or make it sound like it's a harsh thing. Anyone can do it. Any industry takes the same amount of work.
Yeah, that's quite true what you say, because a lot of the things that I've noticed also is that young people seem to think it's a 2-hour job and it's over, whereas starting any company or any serious entrepreneurship will take hours and days and months and years of work.
Correct.
So yeah, that's very good advice that you're giving there. And from an entrepreneurial side, what advice would you give anybody out there?
I think don't stick to what you're comfortable with. Never ever get stuck in a comfort zone. If you're not consistently pushing your boundaries in terms of what you don't know and wanting to learn what you don't know, you're never going to really progress, and your company is going to get stagnant really, really fast.
Okay, that makes sense. Absolutely. Matt, would you like to share contact details with the people so that they can find you?
Sure, no problem. You can contact, I think the best bet would be you just contact our main head company, WeCloud.co.za. All our contact details are on there. I don't share my cell phone number too much, otherwise, that you can phone my office and my support team, and they'll direct you to the relative staff members who can help you. And so just jump onto www.wecloud.co.za and you'll find all the information and all the backlinks to those other companies in that one specific website.
Yeah, that's quite cool. So they can go to your website, which is wecloud.co.za. Yep. They can go there, they can find all your different companies. Correct. And move around, get the correct people to speak to and everything. Correct. Like that.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
That is quite awesome.
You're always dealing with the same people, so you're never getting confused. You're always dealing with the same accounts person, or you get dedicated technicians, so you're never having different IT people coming through to your businesses.
That is quite cool. That's actually something that's important, because a lot of a company's got so many different people, then you always end up speaking to somebody else. Correct. And like me, I get frustrated and I just put a phone down and I said, I'll sort it out myself.
Which is a major issue, yeah. We avoided that. We saw that as a big problem in the market, so we just avoided that altogether.
That is true. And is there any upcoming events where people will be able to speak to you, meet you? Are they allowed to come to your offices, anything like that?
Yeah, so I have a dedicated PA/marketing lady, Wanda, who does everything for me and manages everything. So if you just contact Wanda on info@wecloud.co.za, you can arrange meetings to come through to our offices. We can meet at your offices. I mean, there's no call-out fee for us to come and sit down and chat and explain things to you and see where we can help benefit your company. So I think just speaking to Wanda would be your best bet in terms of getting hold of me.
Okay, so that is Wanda, your marketing lady, and she can be reached at info@wecloud.co.za.
Correct, yes.
Okay, that is quite awesome. Matt, on the other side, do you guys go out to companies and do talks about computing, those kind of things? Is it something that you guys are interested in, or something that you guys do already?
I am doing a huge talk. I was going to be doing a talk in terms of cloud computing in the school environment. I am doing the talk on the 29th. It's part of the ICC flow in terms of the latest technology and what's going to be happening in Durban. So I will be doing a talk on the 29th. I can probably get Wanda to send you the details regarding that. I'd love to do more and more talks. We have just linked up with a few other people. One of the representations and the talker is Dawn. I don't know if anyone knows Dawn. She speaks on behalf of the Sharks. She's one of the
Yes,
Dawn. So we've just partnered up, and we'll be doing quite a few live radio talks and events all over Durban and moving around. So it's all about networking. So yeah, I would love to do more and more talks. So if anyone would love me on their platform, I'm quite happy to come and give a good demonstration on how the cloud works and how we can best benefit you.
Okay, that's excellent. You know, it's important for people to know that you are available for it, and not just that, they can learn so much from you. I mean, you basically working on something that's very new still in South Africa. I know overseas there's a lot of companies doing it, like you said, Google's working with Amazon, but in South Africa, I mean, you're the guys leading us with this, so this is very exciting. I wouldn't mind attending one of your talks to learn more about it. It's very cool. And you guys are on Facebook, if I remember right. You're on Facebook,
Instagram, LinkedIn. So every single platform you can think of, except for Twitter. I've never found a need for Twitter in my life. So, Facebook, Instagram is our main following. And if you're looking for any of the latest updates in tech, you can go to our websites, read our blogs, and that will give you a lot of insight. We've just started a YouTube channel as well, so we'll be uploading videos on a weekly basis, going through products that we sell. So we have a WeTech, we'll have a WeCloud, different products, different problems that we run into, the solutions how we resolve issues. So for youngsters that are looking for advice on how to fix certain problems, and the latest techs that we use for our clients, we'll be doing all of that on YouTube.
Awesome. Matt, before we go, just something that just popped into my mind. I know you've got your other companies also. Are you going to do something similar to your accounting site and to the computer site also?
So I'm busy developing my latest website for the Pastel Sage products, which is their Sage Accounting and Payroll, where you can actually sign up onto the website and get qualified as a payroll bookkeeping consultant. So if you're wanting to learn the software and get qualified in the software, you can go log into the website, create your account, and start getting qualified in the Pastel products. So that's where I'm taking that.
That's good. That's actually quite cool. So not just you giving a solution to a company now, but you're actually giving people the opportunity to qualify and earn a living.
Students are wanting jobs as a general bookkeeper or a payroll lady that sits in the office and processes salaries. We now have a learning platform that we're busy working on. You can go and get qualified. It just means you have more access to jobs, and we're offering guys who have no other option out there, coming straight out of varsity, get qualified in Pastel, do your thing, start learning the basics, and then start off, get a job, and carry on.
Man, that's excellent, Matt. That's absolutely excellent. Matt, first of all, thank you, man, for allowing us this interview. It's absolutely beautiful to speak to somebody that's got a passion to help people and to change things in the world, and also to develop the upcoming entrepreneurs. So I want to say thank you from all entrepreneurs. Thank you for this. And like I said to the people, go and visit WeCloud. Go and look what they're doing. Go to the website. It's easy. It's wecloud.co.za. Go and find them on Facebook, on LinkedIn, not on Twitter, and just support them. Go show your support by liking their pages and sharing their pages. Matt, we're looking forward, and we're definitely going to speak to you in the near future again, because I've got this picture that you guys are going to explode. This is going to be massive. So I really want to thank you for your time, and thank you for just making the time in your busy schedule to speak to us.
No, absolutely. Anytime. I look forward to having more of these sessions. If you would like to book more time with us, just give my wonderful lady a shout and she'll sort you out.
Okay, excellent. Thank you for your time, Matt. Appreciate it.